Hello. This webinar is a Pathways overview designed to acquaint you with some of the features of Pathways and get you started on your journey with Toastmasters in Pathways. My name is Mark Richter. I am the 2019-2020 Pathways Support Chairman, and I will be your guide for this webinar. What we're going to cover is an overview of the Pathways learning experience, how to select your path, how to start your first project, how to complete a project, and how to complete a level. Bear with me, and all of these terms will become clear shortly. Pathways is the Toastmasters educational program effective December 5th, 2017. All new members will be engaged in Pathways to pursue their experiences and learning in Toastmasters International. Pathways is designed for a number of specific things: real-world needs, real-world communications, and real-world applications. There is rich content in Pathways. There are tutorials, videos, interactive lessons, worksheets, checklists. You can download a PDF of your project that contains the entire manual for that project, and this is available for every project in Pathways. And there are evaluation forms, which are specifically tailored for each project for which you will be working. Pathways is a personalized learning experience. You get to choose how you want to learn. The options are print or online. You get to choose what you learn. You select your path. You select your elective projects in that path. You determine how fast you want to learn, and you determine where you can apply what you learn in Pathways. The Pathways curriculum structure is composed of paths, levels, and project. Each path is like your major at a university. There are 5 levels in each path. Those represent your years of schooling in that major. And the projects are your courses. There are 11 paths currently set up to meet your personal goals. You can select from any of these, and we'll go through how to select your path shortly. There are 5 levels in each path. Each one has a slightly different area of focus. Level 1 is very fundamental. Level 1 in every path is identical. There are the same 4 projects in every path. Level 2, the projects begin to differ depending on which path you're in. In level 3, 4, and 5, you'll have mandatory projects and elective projects. The mandatory ones are unique per each path, and the elective projects, there is some crossover, but you can pick the ones that you think will help you the most in focusing on the path you've chosen. With the progression through these levels, you will expand on your knowledge and experience, and you have the option to specialize in the specific skills you are interested in pursuing on this path. There are over 60 projects you can select to meet your goals. These can range across the board for all paths. Like I said, some are unique for each path, and some of them are available on all the paths as electives as you go through the levels 3 through 5. Each project in every path has a unique evaluation form specifically tailored for that project. Among other things, these will tell the evaluator what to look for in your speech so that they can evaluate you based on what you're supposed to be presenting in that speech. There is also a general purpose evaluation form that is not specific for each project, but it can be used for any project should you not have the one necessary for the specific project you're evaluating. The evaluation forms are 3 pages. The front page is for general comments in 3 different areas: what the speaker excelled at, what could use improvement, and what they should do to challenge themselves. The second page looks like this. It has a scale from 1 to 5 in specific areas with room to add a general comment. And the third page is a guideline for these areas of evaluation with a scale 1 to 5. One of the things that you can do when you're evaluating someone is you can choose to fill out the evaluation online. They are downloadable fillable PDFs, so you can fill it out on your computer and email it to them, or if you have a laptop with you or a notepad, you can do the evaluation at the club meetings, however it is most convenient for you. You can also print them out and fill them out in handwriting if that works for you better. So let's log in, take the assessment, and select a path. Here we go to Toastmasters International. If you want to log in, you go up here to the top of the page where there is a login link and click it. And I'm going to pause the recording for a moment to log in. And now I'm logged in. This is what Toastmasters homepage looks like. Now, in order to select a path, you want to go to the Pathways tab, click on it, go down to Choose a Path, right here, top in the center, and click on that. This is the homepage of Pathways, and to choose a path, you have to use this first tile here. Click on Continue to Path Selection. Number one, you're going to choose a path. You select your preferences, select the language, select whether it's digital as in online or printed materials, which is an extra $25. And there are guides here, who should select printed, who should select digital. You can compare digital versus printed. And then you select, there are two ways to select a path. You can simply look at all the path options, or you can take the online assessment. I'm going to do the online assessment because I believe this actually works best for selecting your first path. If you're selecting a subsequent path, you can pick either one, whichever way works for you. So we selected to take the assessment. I skipped a step. We also have to select how to access the materials. So we will select digital resources. Now the continue button is darkened in. So we continue. We're going to do a digital. We're going to take the assessment. We've already selected the language English, so we can start. And if you want, at this point, you can skip the assessment, but let's go through at least a few steps. The first thing you do is select 3 topics from this list that you're interested in learning about from this list. So let's say I want interpersonal communications, motivating others, and speech writing. Having 3, the next button is now dark and we can proceed on through. Now, which of these 3 is the most important or most related to what brought me to Toastmasters? I'll say speech writing, and then we go next. Learning about one of these will help me significantly in my personal and or professional life. I'll say speech writing yet again, and then we go next. Notice we are 11% complete, and then we start getting into more detailed questions about the path. I'm not going to go through this all the way because I've already selected, I've been through 2 paths and I'm in my 3rd one. But at the end of this assessment, you'll get a recommendation for the first path that your answers have indicated is your best choice, and 2 other possible paths as your secondary choices. You can pick any one of those 3, or at the bottom of that page, there will be a link to see all the paths, and you can simply look at all the paths. And that will look like this. What you can do here is you can look at these and say, let's see, I want to learn more about innovative planning. This path helps you build your skills as a public speaker, leader, and project manager, and so forth. So each one has something you can look at. Notice there's a link at the bottom, view all projects in this path. This will show you what the projects are in level 1, the projects in level 2. Increasing knowledge, you have present a proposal. That's the mandatory one. And there are also elective projects, and you can see what all of the electives are. You must choose 2 of these. In level 4, you only have to choose 1, and in level 5, again, you only have to choose 1. And let's go, once you've selected your path, let's go to Basecamp. We've actually been here before. This is the 3 tiles. Once you have selected your path, you want to log into Basecamp. Now you'll notice there are a couple of links here. go to Basecamp and log in as Basecamp manager. Since I am the secretary, or excuse me, the president of my club, I can log in as a Basecamp manager, but most people, in order to do your path, you want to log in to go to Basecamp. This will take you to the Basecamp homepage. If this is your first time here, you should go up to this link and check compatibility. Now, in Pathways, once you're inside Pathways, clicking on the tab itself does not do anything. You have to come down to the menu item and click on it. Seeing nothing, I presume my computer is compatible, although this is still spinning. I did not actually get a connection on that, but checking compatibility is something you can do to make sure that your machine will actually work with Pathways. Now, I've used this machine before for Pathways, so I know it does. I'm going to continue. There are 3 tiles here that you really want to know about. Navigating Basecamp, this first one, this will take you to a collection of tutorials about Basecamp that will tell you there are 6 areas in which you can get tutorials. Each one has a group of tutorials under it. These tutorials will help you do pretty much anything you need to know how to do in Pathways. Feel free to explore them. For right now, we're going to go back to Basecamp, which is the home page, and look at a couple of other tiles. To get an evaluation for when you are evaluating speeches or when you are going to give a speech that you want evaluated, this speech evaluations tile is very handy. It takes you to a page where it lists every single evaluation resource available in Pathways. This is the entire list of projects currently available in Pathways, and this has grown since Pathways started. It will probably continue to grow in the future. Once again, let's go back to the home page. Now notice you will eventually have an education transcript box here. You can use this to go to your path, but I recommend going through this tile. There are some options inside Pathways that are not available if you go in through the My Education Transcript here, but they are if you go in through this tile. The path I'm currently working on is Engaging Humor. To open the curriculum, you go here and click on where it says Open Curriculum. I am currently at level 3. I have one of the 2 elective projects done, and that's what it will look like. When you first start out in Pathways, you're going to come in at level 1. These check marks will not be here, and these buttons will not be visible. There will be this one, and it will say Activate. When you activate the icebreaker, then it will say Launch. When you launch the icebreaker, it will launch the project. And the project looks like, when it's loading, it looks like this. And then it looks like this. Now I've finished the icebreaker, so this is the last panel. Let's go to the very beginning. Notice you can select down here to move to any place in the project. So we'll start with navigation. This is probably what you will see first. These are the pieces of what's in the tab. These are the arrows that will take you to the next page of the project. If there's a previous page, you can go back. Notice there is one. It's the introductory page. So this is what you will see first. Then you begin, you get the navigation page. Notice this directions tab here. Sometimes this will pop up with directions on how to proceed through the page you're on. You will have to click on this arrow, which will be pointing down when that comes up, so that you can proceed into the data. There are presentations in this form. There are summaries. Here's where you have directions. To print your project, you can get a PDF version to do this. or you can simply go on through. The first thing that's in the project is a checklist. These are the things that you need to do to complete the project. It's a checklist for you to go through so you can prepare to do the project. In this case, the project is a speech. Then you will see this assess your skills before. Now, since I've already been through this, my assessed skills are already listed, so I will continue on. Actually, let's go back. Notice there are 6 bubbles down here, so there's 6 questions that you get to fill in. This was my third, actually my 4th icebreaker in Toastmasters, so I'm fairly certain I knew what to do here, hence the 5s. When I first did this, it would have been 2s and 3s. These are the list of competencies you will learn from practicing this project. This is how you navigate through the videos online. Here is an example of a video. There is some music. There's some speaking. I'm going to pause this and continue, and so on. You go through the project this way. There are some things where you can download entities, PDFs typically, guidelines for how to do the project. There are some cases like this where there are multiple parts to the page. You want to make sure you go through all of them. Whenever you see a next or back button here, go through all those pieces before you go on to the next page. Similarly, there are these interactive pieces where you get one piece for each one you click on. As you go through here, again, here's another next back set. You go through the next, 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 and next. And when you finish going through the project, you get to this page, which has the pieces that you actually need to do. Suggestions: review, organize, schedule with a VPE to get your speech going, and prepare for your evaluation. You go to get the evaluation form for your evaluator to fill out. At this point, this is a brief explanation of the evaluation. Here is your evaluation resource. It's a PDF. You click on this and you can download it. You can print out the entire project. And there is an icebreaker speech outline worksheet that you can use. Typically, there will be an outline for each project you have. There are some projects that have more than one speech, in which case you will have more than one evaluation resource. And after you've given the speech, you come back to do the assess your skills after. Now, I've already done that, so it's already filled out. But you go through, and it's a similar assessment to the first one, but you're now evaluating how well you think you are, or how good you think you are on each of these areas that you went through in this project. When you finish this assessment, that completes your project and it shows as done. That being the case, notice this opened up in a new tab. The curriculum is back over here. You close this tab and we're back here. When you have completed the project, check mark will show up here, and then you go on to the other projects. And when you're finished with all the projects, to complete your level, it won't show it. Normally, when you're about to complete a level, what you'll see is this. It's blank, and once it'll stay blank until you complete all your electives. Then it will come up with an activate, and you click on the activate, and it'll bring up a PDF that shows you what you need to do to complete the project. Primarily, you go back here, and there will be a Mark Complete button, and you click on that. What happens then is that your Basecamp managers get notified you have completed the level. Your Vice President of Education will verify that you've done all the speeches and you have all the evaluations. They would know because they are the ones who scheduled your speeches. And then they will approve or deny your completion. The only reasons for denial that I know of are that someone went through all the projects, did the assessments before and after, and so they completed all the projects online. There's no check for that. But when you go to mark it complete and your VPE looks at your history with the club and they say, oh, I don't see him having done any of these speeches, what on earth were they thinking? They will talk to you and they will deny your level completion until you've actually done the project. Every project has at least one speech. You have to do all of the speeches in every project that you undertake in each level in order to complete the level. So we covered that, we covered that, we covered that. Two things. Once again, to complete your project, you do the assess your skills after. And for that to make any sense, you need to do the assess your skills before when you start the project and do the assessment at the end. That will complete the project. Once you've completed all the projects, you can complete the level and continue on to the higher levels. You can view any project at any level in your path anytime you want. You simply cannot actually complete the projects unless you have done the level before. So to complete the projects in level 2, you must complete level 1. To complete level 2, you must complete level 1. To complete level 3, you must complete level 2. You can do the projects in any order you want, but you must complete the levels in the order they're given. If you have any questions, ask your club Basecamp managers, your vice president of education, who's your primary Basecamp manager, or your president or secretary. They are the backup Basecamp managers. Or you can always call Toastmasters International and ask questions there. I hope this helps. I wish you well on your journey through Pathways. Welcome to Toastmasters.